Welcome to Threading your Bernina L620. I'm Doris Breckbuhl, educator and overlock specialist at Bernina International, and with 2 or 3 ideas I've influenced the development of this machine. In this video you'll learn how to use the one-step Bernina air threader, the built-in needle threader, and look at alternatives for threading the loopers. In the description below you'll find an overview of the content in this video so that you can easily navigate to those topics that interest you most. First, we will extend the thread guide fully and align it for optimal stitching. I recommend to stabilize large cones. Thanks to needle stop up, the needles are in the right position for threading needles and looper. If not, a short press on the foot control will set the needles up. For threading, we have to raise the presser foot to open the thread tensions. And a tip, in real life, of course, we would first select a stitch, because not all stitches are sewn with all 4 threads. There is no threading sequence. You can thread any sequence. But for all 4 threads, the first 3 guides are the same. Thread guide, pre-tension. Make sure the thread clicks into the pre-tension and thread the tension discs. Guide, pre-tension, tension. Make sure it clicks into the pre-tension. Pre-tension, tension. And now we are ready to thread the looper with the help of the one-step Bernina air threader. To open the looper cover, pull it straight towards you. When you activate the air threader, the looper pipe will close and the threading light will go on, confirming the machine is ready for threading. To thread the looper, pull approx 40 centimeters or 20 inches of thread loose, press the foot control, and your looper is threaded. Pull approx 10 centimeters or 4 inches of thread into the looper area. That's how fast you've threaded the chain looper. Now we will thread the needles with the help of the built-in needle threader. We follow the blue color code for the right cover stitch needle. Thread take-up lever, guide, guide, guide on the needle bar. Then we set the needle threader to blue for the right needle. And when you do this the first time, I recommend to do it slowly. Press the needle threader down halfway and place the thread around the nose. Press the needle threader down fully, guide the thread to the right and to the rear, and when you now release the needle threader, you can then pull the thread fully through the needle eye. Same applies for the center needle using the green color code. Thread take-up lever, guide, guide on the needle holder, thread around the nose to the right, let the threader go. Yellow for the left needle, and that's how fast you can thread the needles. I usually place the needle thread over the thread cutter. The looper thread remains in the looper area. It will be pulled through the stitch plate with your first stitch. Let me show you 2 possible errors. When the needles are not in the up position, when I then activate the air threader, the looper will not close and the light will not go on. The machine is not ready for threading yet. But when I press the foot control, the looper will close, the light will go on, and at the same time, the air threader motor will run and I'm ready for threading. I can just stay on the foot control. That's another way of threading the looper. And the second error, the same basically. When the needles are not in the up position, also the needle threader will not work. The wire will not come through the needle eye. That's why it's important to benefit from needle stop up for threading. How do we finish the threading process? As long as the air threader is active, the looper cover will not close. This knob here will disable that. So we need to deactivate the air threader, can close the looper cover by aligning the guide until the magnet closes. And then the machine is ready for sewing. Let me show you a possible error. I've closed the cover, pressed the foot control. If an audible signal occurs, the machine shows me an error. I have to solve that problem by opening the looper cover, deactivate the air threader completely, turn the machine off and on again, and then I can close the looper cover again. That means the air threader has two defined positions, off or on. If by any mistake it stays halfway, the machine alerts you. Now we've threaded the machine and looked at possible error messages. We're ready for the next step. If you like to continue with stitch selection and test sewing, find a video linked here. Here we continue with needle change, because not for all stitches all 3 needles are in use. Find the helpful tools in the accessory box. I prefer to use the needle holder to prevent my needles falling into the machine. Loosen the screw slightly and let the needle fall out. Temporary unused needles can be stored in the needle pad. That allows me to separate used needles from new needles out of the box. Once more, slightly loosen the needle set screw, take the needle out and store it. I recommend to tighten the screw when no needle is inserted. That prevents dust and fluff from accumulating in the needle holder. To insert another needle, maybe a larger size for a thicker thread or a different type, I also use the needle holder tool. Insert the needle with the flat piece towards the rear into my tool and into the needle holder on the machine. Pull it all the way up. You may need to open the screw a bit. Check in the little window that the needle is all the way up before tightening the screw. That's how you can change the needles. And a tip, if you sew a stitch where not all needles are threaded, take the needle out. That prevents unnecessary holes in your fabric and changing the stitch picture. Let's now have a look at looper threading alternatives. My preference is always the one-step Bernina air threader. That works well from fine to medium weight threads. Simply thread pre-tension and tension. The air threader is activated. And that medium weight thread goes through easily. My second choice is knotting a thread on. That also works well with medium weight to fine threads. Simply cut the thread, connect the new one with a knot, and pull it slowly and carefully through. That works well. Coming to heavier decorative threads, I can try a knot. Pull really carefully. If the knot is blocked here, the thread is too thick for that method. When the knot is too thick, I use a thread cradle. Having approx 80 centimeters of thread folded in half, I can thread my decorative thread through the loop and then shoot the two loose ends through the air threader. And with this, I can pull my decorative thread through. Ready for some decorative stitching. And here a note. If your air threader is not working, and I talk about a technical defect, then it is time to bring your machine to a service to your local Bernina dealer. With this, we have threaded the machine using the one-step Bernina air threader, the built-in needle threader. We have covered the topic about changing needles and looper threading alternatives. If you click on the link, you'll find more tutorials for your L620. If one of these tips has been helpful, give us a like. And we would love it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Bernina, made to create.